This program has been brought to you by Alpine Bank. Dedication you can count on and experience you can trust. Alpine Bank, member FDIC.
Is the village at Wolf Creek dead? Well, not yet. But it was seriously injured this week when the Rio Grande National Forest filed to withdraw its appeal of a May 2017 federal district court order that stopped a land exchange that would have opened the door to a large-scale development next to the Wolf Creek ski area. The infamous village at Wolf Creek would have housed a community of 8,000 to 10,000 people at the top of Wolf Creek Pass in an environmentally sensitive wildlife corridor at the headwaters of the Rio Grande River. The withdrawal is the latest development in a 30-year saga that included several lawsuits, charges of collusion and undue political influence, and unlawful decisions that favored the developer while ignoring a number of environmental laws and regulations. The saga began in 1986 when the Rio Grande National Forest approved a land exchange to give Texas businessman Charles Lavelle and Texas billionaire Red McCombs ownership in 420 acres of Forest Service property adjacent to the Wolf Creek ski area. Starting in 2001, the developers proposed several plans to obtain access to the highway, but their efforts were stopped by 2 successful lawsuits. Then, in 2009, the developers offered a third proposal to exchange nearly 100 acres of their Wolf Creek parcel with nearly 200 acres of Forest Service land adjacent to the highway. Rio Grande Forest Service Supervisor Dan Dallas approved the land exchange in 2014, arguing that the Forest Service could not legally block access to private property and that any development considerations belonged to elected officials in Mineral County, where the parcel is located. 4 environmental groups, including the Durango-based San Juan Citizens Alliance, Rocky Mountain Wild, the San Luis Valley Ecosystem Council, and the Wilderness Workshop, filed suit in federal district court opposing the ruling. After reviewing nearly 100,000 documents obtained by the plaintiffs through the Freedom of Information Act, Judge Richard Match issued an order in May 2017 to stop the exchange, citing the Forest Service failure to consider all the issues required by the National Environmental Protection Act. The Forest Service then filed a notice to appeal, but withdrew that notice this week.
The fact that the Forest Service is basically abandoning their position to appeal and sort of throwing in the towel on their support for the EIS, that's pretty significant. I mean, we've been saying, our attorneys in court, and I would say our organizations involved have been saying that the EIS is, significantly flawed, and the Forest Service is taking that hard to now. It's getting that point too. It's frankly, the only people who haven't gotten the message yet seems to be the joint venture.
The saga isn't over. Lavelle McCombs' joint venture has filed its own appeal of the court ruling that stopped the land exchange, and it's now up to the 10th Circuit Court to decide whether to allow the appeal to move forward. To learn more about the history of the village at Wolf Creek, visit sanjuancitizens.org.